Hi, and welcome to the Friendship Flow podcast. My name's Katy, and I'll be your host. My hope is to create a space for women entering their wisdom years, to learn about friendship from all their own experience, and create the circle of friends they desire and deserve. I hope to explore this subject with you so that you can explore what friendship means to you in your life. I created a 5-step approach to accomplish just that. 1, self-awareness. 2, connection. 3, boundaries. 4, growth. And 5, joy. Each episode, we will dive deeply into the steps and how to use them. Hi, friends. The new year is well on its way, and so many people have started making their resolutions and intentions for the year ahead. As we go into the new year with the podcast, I invite you to dive deeper into the 5 steps, no matter where you are on your friendship journey. Let's make this year about holding each other up and celebrating our unique qualities that we bring to friendships. So last week we touched on competition and friendship. So I thought this week we could go a bit deeper on that subject and see where our own friendships land on this topic. So competition doesn't mean that someone is a bad friend. It might mean that something vulnerable is being touched, right? We don't always like to admit that there's competition. You know, it doesn't have a good sound to it in relationships. And I think this is especially among women as well. I think we look at each other differently than men look at each other. And oftentimes we compare ourselves. We all want to be that kind, supportive, generous kind of friend, but sometimes comparison just sneaks in. Have you ever felt happy for a friend and sad for yourself at the same time? I know I have. I've had that feeling that, I really want to celebrate my friend because it's a great thing, but maybe it's something that I would have liked to accomplish too and just have not gotten there yet in my life. And I feel like we sometimes, we try to hide that instead of just letting it be what it is. It's not that you're not happy for your friend. It's that little piece of your heart is aching for the same thing. And that's okay. It's kind of healthy and it helps you to grow. And maybe we can deal with it by maybe asking that friend to mentor us, for some guidance. How did you get there? How did it feel? How did you, who do you need to talk to? What do you need to do? All those things. And instead of, letting that sad feeling grow into something that might injure the friendship. There's so many things that, topics that this can enter in, relationships and marriage, money and freedom, success and recognition, kids and family. That's always a big topic among friends. I had a friend who I deeply cared about. I truly loved her, and there was something, an undercurrent of competition that was present. And I never really knew how to name it or talk about it. I just knew it was there. And I think I talked about it like with my husband, about the situations or, what was happening at the time, but not that competition. I didn't know that that's what it might be. I felt like she was either jealous or not liking things in my life, my work, my choices. And instead of pulling away, I actually tried harder. I included her more. I invited her in. I tried to make her feel as safe as possible. But over time, it really started to feel heavy, uncomfortable. When someone walks in the room and the air is instantly thickened, and it was present. I don't think either of us handled it well either. I think I pulled back, and instead of having a hard conversation, I just kind of settled in, and she reacted from that. And eventually we just distanced and lost each other, and the relationship dissolved. What's hard is that even when something isn't healthy, you can still miss that person. And I still do. I still have a lot of feelings for this person, and it's someone that other friends see. So it's really hard. It's an emptiness that I don't like. So I wish we could have handled it differently. And jealousy is often just pain in disguise. And I wish I had recognized that more in my relationship with this person. And then maybe I would have addressed it so much differently instead of having like anger or feeling like, come on, knock it off, that kind of thing. I would have been able to speak to it better. I wish we really both knew how to say, I love you, but something doesn't feel right between us. And can we talk about it instead of going into that quiet mode and both of us dealing with it on our own, which eventually led to the dissolve of the relationship. So that kind of brings the topic of boundaries back. We talked about boundaries a few weeks ago, that it is a very hard topic. There's creating boundaries with people, anyone, is difficult, but when it is with a friend, it can be more difficult. There were two paths that we talked about back then, and so I'll just go over those. Path one, you simply step back, you're less available, fewer emotional deposits, more space, you stay cordial and kind, just not close or accessible. This works best when the friendship has naturally run its course, or when the person lacks emotional maturity for direct conversation. So your quiet mantra could be no drama, no blame, just space. And that actually is a nice little mantra. There's also path two. This one's for more significant or long-term relationships, friendships that where clarity is kinder than silence. Those friendships that you may have had for a long time, or they're just a really close, significant friendship that has changed. And a graceful release script might sound something like this. I want to be honest because I respect what we've shared. I'm in a different place in my life now. And friendship no longer feels this friendship no longer feels aligned for me. I need to step back and create a space for my own well-being. I'll always be grateful for the memories. And I truly wish you the best in moving on. I think that really speaks clear. You would obviously used your own wording, but I think that's a good script to keep in your back pocket if you ever, and I hope you don't, need to separate for any reason. And it is a natural occurrence in friendships. Two people grow in different directions. I know today with all the things in the news and the heightened political agendas and things like that, I know that's affected friendships, and we would hope that doesn't separate people. But sometimes it needs to. You didn't know you weren't aligned in so many areas, and sometimes those breaks are necessary. There's, tons of reasons why we go in different directions. Our interests become different. Groups of other friends become different. And it doesn't always align to what you had in the past. So sometimes those conversations are necessary, but doesn't make them any less difficult. For me anyways. Maybe, hopefully you have an easier time with some of these things. So I think to wrap all of this up, I think that we need to go back to the steps, especially self-awareness, and know where we are in our friendships. Look at that competition topic and just see where you are, see where you land there, and just check in on your friendships to make them keep growing and keeping your friendships in the fifth step, joy. We all want joy in our friendships and in our lives. So, friends, until next time, go and be a good friend. I'd also like to just mention you can find me on Facebook, the Elevated Adventures Yoga, and I also started a Substack blog that will kind of be a soft place to land after the podcast. So if you're looking for some follow-up or have something to say, that might be somewhere you could check out. So until next time, be a good friend and keep joy in your heart. I'll see you next week.